Go. Welcome to our Titration Lab. Special thanks to Mr. Summers for videoing the Titration Lab for us. First, you need to set up a lab notebook. And in your lab notebook, you need to title the lab. Then you need to write down the concentration of our titrant. We're using NaOH at base of this molarity. We'll need an initial volume measurement, a final volume measurement, an indication of the endpoint, which will just be a virtual piece of data that you add. And then we're going to start with 28.5 milliliters of hydrochloric acid of unknown concentration. And then you'll need some space for calculations down below here. All right. So for the setup, first of all, I just have some distilled water in here because once you add distilled water to an acid, of course, you're not going to change the number of moles of acid that are in there. I'm going to add some phenolphthalein indicator to this. So I'll just add a few drops of that. Phenolphthalein turns pink in the presence of a base. Of course, we have an acid in there, and you can make an observation right now. This is my carefully measured out 28.5 milliliters of acid that I want to titrate. And I get every drop of that in there. And then before we start the titration, now we need to take a measurement. And I have a card right here. Pause for card. To put behind here. Can we take the measurement? Does it show up pretty good? Should I move this one?
Focus.
Okay.
There we go.
We got the measurement? Yeah. Write that down in your notebook. Okay. I think we got it.
I hope so.
And now we're going to add our titrant, our NaOH, carefully and slowly. And we're going to do this one kind of quickly, and we should see a visual change going once we add enough of the 0.36 molar NaOH to our acid solution. By the way, we're using an automatic stirrer for this, so then we don't have to stir by hand. But if you didn't have one of these automatic stirrers, you'd have to stir with a stir stick to make sure that adequate mixing takes place. Maybe we're starting to see a little bit of a visual representation of the base starting to turn pink in the presence of the phenolphthalein indicator. And then once we get close to it starting to remain pink, then we'll go real slow. And we'll try to get as accurate as possible right when it turns just a little bit pink. Okay, we're getting pretty close. The pink isn't persisting all the time, so we'll go slowly here now. We'll add a little bit at a time, and when it persists for a few seconds, then we'll know we're at the end point where our moles of acid are equal to our moles of base. Ooh, we're really close. Oh, it's staying for a little while, maybe a drop or two, huh? Oh, I think I added too much. Oh, very close.
So exciting.
I think we've got a light pink that persists for several seconds. Maybe we'll go a couple more drops. I think we probably got it where it's going to remain pink for a while anyway. I think they say 5 seconds. Isn't that right, Mr. Summers? I think we're pretty close to 5 seconds. So let's take our measurement. I'll move this, whoops, I think I'll just move it down a little bit. And then we'll put this behind here again. And let's see if you can zoom in and get the measurement.
Got it.
So write that down as your second measurement. And now you've got some calculations to go. Thanks for joining us on this titration lab.
Bye.